So that's what I'm saying is you can teach those corners how to anticipate some things. All right, are you still go?
Yeah, I just started to back up.
Okay.
That's like the best thing I've ever heard. Like
Alright.
looking at the
So, now, here's the deal, and he asked a really good question just a while ago. Here's one that goes, alright, he's getting depth. We tell our safeties, get width and depth. Get width and depth, but we want to stay closer to number 2 because the ball is closer to 2.
Coach, where do they align? This is something we fought with over the years, just kind of like where do
The
we align
safety?
safeties? Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I didn't even talk about it. We tell our safeties, now, in Texas, because the hash marks are narrow, NCAA rules, we would say, we want you to use that hash mark as a home. We're either gonna be 3 yards outside that hash or 3 yards inside the hash, depending on, we used to tell our safety, the wider this guy is, the wider I wanna be, because that's the farthest reach I have to go. Is that receiver and corner dumbass doesn't hit him and he releases down the sideline and he's gone. That guy that I coach doesn't hit him. And so, we tell him to position himself in a place that I know I can reach the sideline if he's running down the sideline. Now, we do a drill, and it's called Tennessee hash. And this is where we get those safeties. We'll put a receiver right on the sideline, and we'll line up a corner. Well, I take it back. We'll put him inside because we still want him to catch him. But we're going to tell that guy to get down down the sideline. We're going to line this guy right up on the hash, and we don't even put anybody to catch him, and we're running him straight down. Now, we want that safety. He's going to line up over here. We tell him probably no more than 6 yards outside the hash. We feel like he still is far enough outside at 6 yards. If this guy's really wide, then we can still reach that point and we still can handle the inside route. But also, when they backpedal, we tell them to get width and depth.
So you have them weave or do you have them open?
No. Well, first we always start with the inside foot up to the inside of the field, and they're gonna. And here's the deal: they're gonna always push off of the front foot because I'm gaining ground. If I'm here and I step with my back foot, I'm still in the same place. So little things we teach them to push off with their inside foot, gain ground, and we work hard on back pedal, good technique. We want our shoulders out over our toes. We want elbows high. We don't want them throwing those shoulders back. We don't want them falling. Getting off balance. They can't break. They can't cut. So we really work their elbows hard. Taking those back pedal steps, and we're backpedaling with width. We're widening, and we're getting depth. And at a certain point, then I'm doing nothing but depth. Now, to answer what you said, once we've backpedaled, and those guys are flying, and their speed is outrunning my backpedal. We're gonna teach the receivers to open their hips to the inside. My eyes are still on the quarterback now.
The receivers or the
DB,
the safety?
I'm opening my hips and I'm running because I want to stay deeper than those guys. If I break on the ball, I want to be breaking downhill or at an angle. So, and now if I'm this way and that quarterback, shows this, then we work hard on speed turn and we speed turn around, baseball turn, whatever you
Back
want
to
to call
the
it.
outside one?
Yeah.
So you're good, like if both of them, you're the quarterback, both of them are running at me. I'm open here, but if you see him look this way, you're gonna speed turn to get over the top.
He's gonna open his hips
Oh, okay.
inside, because that's where the quarterback is.
Yeah, and it's easier to get
If
to.
I open this way,
I see.
I can't see that guy. But if I'm running, and, oh, man, those guys are fast. I'm opening, and we teach them at a certain point, you gotta get out of that back pedal.
Well, at what point is that? How
We
far
take-
is it?
we
How
tell
much
them,
are they closing your?
As long as you've got leverage on them in your back pedal, hang in it. But once those guys are blowing down the field and you've lost that leverage, that angle, you're about to lose your depth, your
So you
ability.
You wanna keep a certain amount of cushion.
Oh, definitely.
So as soon as they get about 4 or 5 yards, you gotta open up and take.
Yeah, or even, 5 or 6 yards.
5 or
we tell
6.
them. We want to open our hips and we're looking at quarterback. Now, here's that drill. We do this drill a million times. We backpedal, and we've got a coach over here with a ball, and this is what we tell safeties. We read pass, and boy, they're talking, they're hollering, pass, 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 pass. And that's another thing. We work hard on communicating, talking. So, we get them here. Now, he knows we're working what we call Tennessee hash, probably at a clinic, somebody, anyway. And so he's in that position, he's backpedaling now, he may even turn his hips and he's opening up. But he's looking, I can see these receivers, but I'm looking at the quarterback. Now this is what we tell our safety to trigger. That quarterback, he sets, as long as that ball is his hand's on the ball, then we are gonna keep going. The minute that the hand comes off the ball, where his eyes are and where his shoulder's pointing, then we're breaking to it hard. And we also tell them, look at where's the shoulder? Is the shoulder down? If the shoulder's down, where's the ball coming? It's coming out in front of me. So settle and start being ready to break on it. If it drops and that shoulder's up, he's fixing to Tom Brady it. He's fixing to let her fly.
So can you clarify alignment for me?
Okay? All right.
So the two.
Now, on this drill, if this was the hash, we're gonna line them up about 3 to 4 yards outside the hash, because we've got a guy wide. Depending on athletic ability, what we don't wanna do, some people say, well, let's just split them, split the difference. You're fixing to get beat.
And that's even here in New Mexico where the hashes the way they are?
Yeah, that's where we live, Now, in Texas, we would say we're never gonna get more than 3 yards. Over here, we're gonna say 5 to 6 yards outside the hash on our alignment, initial
Okay,
alignment.
so
And then what about the depth of the alignment?
12 yards.
12 yards.
Every time. We're gonna be at 12 yards, inside foot up. We're keying. We're looking back in the backfield to start with. On the snap of the ball, they're backpedaling. They're getting depth. Now, we usually key uncovered linemen. If they read run, then they're slowing that thing down, but they're not getting ready just to bust ass up there. They're slowing down. We don't want play action, but they're looking. They're starting to think, well, it's maybe run, but they know they're not responsible for any force. They are either going to be spill or cutback, one or the other. So they're not in a big hurry. In cover 2, they will. So we want to line up about, depending on how good this is and how wide this guy is. If this guy was, by the way, I'll mention this, if I was receiver, I would never coach this, but if they put a receiver right on the sideline, we're not gonna get out here and stand on the sideline. We have a 5 yard, we're never gonna line up 5 yards inside that 5 to the sideline. So if he was right on the sideline, we're gonna back off probably about 7 yards and still do exactly the same thing, but this guy doesn't have many options now. He can either go deep or he can go inside. there's no threat outside. The only thing, if he does come off, I'm gonna shuffle, I'm gonna catch him, and I'm in a little bit different position, but we don't want, they say, well, they're gonna always be outside of that receiver. We don't want them to push us into the sideline. I mean, that's ridiculous. So we have that little 5 yard, you know, we're not gonna line up there. But most good receivers, coach, offensive, they're not gonna do that. Most of them don't even put one outside the numbers very much.
Cause then you
I
know
mean,
they're gonna go inside.
you're taking away those options. And we work hard, by the way, we work hard on telling these kids, they've got a wide split here. What do you think? This guy is really wide, this guy's wide. You know, what do you think that split is telling you? Probably not gonna go inside. Or if it is, it's gonna be something fairly quick, but if they're in real tight, what's it telling me?
Outside.
They're making room outside. They're giving them space. Or they're gonna cross real fast.
That's good stuff, but, so how are you gonna defend the post from the two?
Okay, here's how we,
The mic
here's
say
how we
quarterback
play.
slash safety.
alright,
Oh, and on that drill, the quarterback just throws one or the other?
yeah, he's gonna throw to one or the other, and we do it over and over and over and over.
And your corner's involved in the drill or no?
Oh, yeah, corner and the safety, that's why,
That's the
one
way.
time, I'd have one side of them, and that other guy to help me would have corners and safety on the other side. He's working that hash on, Tennessee Avenue, I'm working over there, and we're getting as many reps as we
And
can.
you're only doing those deep
And
routes,
we've got
that's it?
somebody over there, there's always some quarterbacks that, why is it offensive coach don't let quarterback play deep? Anyway, we have those quarterbacks over there, and they're dropping, and I've told them, this is what I want you to do. I want you to drop, and I want you to keep that shoulder down, and I want you to break your hand pretty quick. So those safeties know I'm fixing to, I'm gonna go to. But the one we're really working is the deep ball. I call it railroading. I'm gonna get between these railroad track, these two receivers, the route they've taken, and I'm railroading them, and I'm gonna break off of the quarterback, what he tells me. If I'm here, quarterback's here, and his eyes go to the number 2, and his hand comes off, that safety is breaking to 2, as hard, as fast as he can.
Does your width and depth, probably not the depth, but if the ball's on the hash to your field safety, where are you telling him to line up as far as width and all that?
Depends on, if this was a hash, and here's the width of the field, let's say it was something like that, and let's say here's the hash, well then I'm fixing to be probably on the hash.
But you're saying they're squeezed down, Lou, the ball's on the hash.
No, yeah, that's what he's saying. The ball's on the hash on this
Yeah,
side.
ball's over here,
Oh.
and he's gonna align to what these guys give him, not where the ball is. He's gonna align to he's gonna tell himself, can I reach that guy? Yes. So I can afford to get inside. I'm still gonna probably I'm gonna get between the two, but I'm gonna be a lot closer to number 2 than I am 1. Now, the wider he gets, the wider I have to get off that hash. But I'm not gonna go so wide that I can't get back in cover, because realistically, and as they get better with this Tennessee drill, we'll even take a receiver and put him on hash and work and go nearly to the middle of the field, and this guy goes there. And now, he really learns that he can't overplay that guy, because this guy, he's positioned himself way out.
See, a lot of our problems in 7-on-7 come with number 2 over the
Sure,
middle.
yeah. So, that's Tennessee hash, and that's a great drill for cover 2, for safeties, because they learn to read, they learn to break before the ball snapped, and they learn to get proper position on those routes. They learn, we do drills where we backpedal and we turn those hips inside, and then we do drills where they've got a speed turn and get around and immediately find one and run to it, you know.
What what about the backside safety to the boundary? He doesn't have to line up on the hash anymore.
No,
does he?
no.
He's just gonna,
If, let's say, you know, let's say they were real, I mean, again, he may be, let's say he was all the way inside the hash. He may be, you know, 2 or 3 yards inside the hash if he knows he can reach that guy.
so
That's
he's
the
gonna
key.
wanna take away the threat of the 2 going inside, but he still wants to be able to get over the top.
Right,
and
I
be
mean,
on the sideline.
He's gotta know that I've gotta put myself in a position to cover half of the field. That's where half the word come from. If they ran both those guys, you know, if they ran 4 deep, you know, they just send them all, then those safeties have to know that they've gotta be in a position that they can break on any one of those 2 to their side. Now, the key to all this coverage is, the safeties are important, don't get me wrong. It's important that they know where they're at and how they move and where to line, and all that stuff. But it's the under coverage that makes the play. And here's what,
Yeah.
well, gonna answer a lot of questions. All right. Here we are, we've got cover 2, he's lined up in that position, he knows he's 4 yards off. The better they are, sometimes we can cheat them up a little bit, but if you don't watch them, they think they're Deion Sanders, you know, they can't spell Deion, but,
You just described.
so you gotta make them stay back. Because we wanna, the whole idea of cover 2 is slow down receivers, especially the widest receiver, from just shooting up. Because if no one puts his hands on them one, that safety's already probably beat. Now, so what we do, we'll take this side of the half of the field, and I may take corner, Raider, and the Will, and the other guy will take the corner and the free safety and the bandit, and we're fixing to do cover two drills. We may send them both down, as we start, that's what we start with, is sending both receivers on vertical routes, you know. If we think if we can figure that out, then we're gonna be all right. So,
If you had your drillers, where would you put your better athletes, the quarters or the safety?
we put our best ones here, because we use them for run so much. And we think this guy, it can be a lesser of an athlete and still do what we're gonna ask him to do. We don't ask them very seldom to line up and I'm gonna say, I got you, me and you, buddy. We don't do that very much. And if we did, we already have a good idea that we at least are an even match, but more than likely, our guy's better than that one, if we ever did that. But not very much. But anyway, so here's this, everything we do, we wanna outnumber receivers. So if this is the case, we wanna be 3-on-2. Our corner, we've already gone over that, we've talked about our safeties, where he's gonna do. Now let's talk about our inside people, our Will or our bandit. When they're also reading tackle. If that tackle gives a pass block and they know pretty much it's pass, then they're gonna open their hips. We wanna line up, by the way, we wanna line up probably about 5 yards, somewhere in there. Maybe 5 by 5 or, I mean, that might be a starting point, and it kind of comes down to how good this guy is, but that's kind of the idea behind it. But as a starting point, we're gonna go about 5 yards inside. We definitely want to be inside. The problem that these guys get, they want to get in, they want to get closer to them because they think they can be better. They can't. We're telling him his first job is to wall off number 2. Wall off number 2. That means I'm gonna open my hips. If number 2 tries to, well, let's say he comes in, I'm inside, I'm fixing to turn, I'm fixing to go to war with him right here. We do a lot of drills, linebacker coaches, particularly outside backer, we work a lot of drills with these guys walling off. Can they stop everything? No, but they can get where they're pretty good at walling off inside receivers. Their rules are, I'm gonna wall off number 2, I'm gonna wall off, or I'm going to kind of catch like the corner does. I'm gonna catch 2. I'm not looking back inside, and now I'm just gonna try to get a jam on, and now I'm gonna get in that same position that the corner got in. I'm gonna get in a trail position. If he's going vertical, then I'm going with him, and I'm gonna be in that trail. If he's going vertical, I catch, and I got inside. Now I'm in that trail position. I'm right on his inside butt, and I'm trailing. Now he's over the top, and we'll start them off this way. We'll send both those receivers straight down. We want to see if the under coverage, like I said a while ago, the under coverage is what makes this thing go. If I'm good undercover, then that quarterback, what does he have to do? He has to put it up over that under coverage. That's what we want for these guys. We want the ball up over them. And that's why, we had so many interceptions. We had, it was 27 interceptions because the under coverage was so good. Now this is the rest of the process here. If 2 breaks out, then he's turned, and 2 breaks out, he's starting to wall, 2 breaks out, he's hollering, out, 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 out. Here goes corner, he's got that under cover, but now he reads 2 out, he settles, and now our wheel is gonna break hard for number 1, for any inside cuts, for a curl.
So he robs them.
Yeah, he's robbing. He's robbing curl, the dig. We even tell him, hey, by golly, you're Superman, and you want the deep out. We tell him, you run like hell. Try to get under that deep out cut, Again, it's the undercover. And that's what some people try to do because they know it may be hard. Of course, that's why we play cover 4 also, because we're gonna click and bail, and we'll be under that, and we'll have that. But so then we'll go to number 2, making an out cut, or a curl, or anything where the inside guy has to now reach him. So all that's worked into it. If number 2, let's get all these lines off. Now I'm gonna throw in the other part of this thing. Before the ball, let me say, as the ball is snapped, and we've read pass, there's 1, 2, and 3. I've already said our corner he cares less what number 3 does. If 3 goes to flat, that does not matter to him. He's not going to come off coverage. He's going to stay on 1 underneath, or if 2 came off at some point, then he's going to stay on 2. Now here's the way this thing works. As this guy comes off and this one comes off, we've caught, and underneath we've caught, but immediately here goes 3. Our Mike, he immediately, when he reads pass, he's looking for 3. He's hollering 3 out, 3 out, 3 out. Our Will, or our Bandit, when he started that wall process, when he hears 3 off, he's going to level off, and now he's going to work to cover that. Now he's not going to just run to it. Again, we want to hang back and break on the ball, not because if he runs to it, then they're going to do something in behind here where he vacated. So we tell him to start working that. Now Mike, because 3 out, let's say they did that. Now Mike is going to break on number 2. Does that make sense? It may be the way you play it, I don't know. So the whole idea is, we're not gonna squat that corner, but we do have a call where we do squatting, but in our regular cover 2, he's only gonna play 1 and key 2. He's gonna catch 1 and key 2. If 3 goes flat, then we're gonna work that.
Is that the same for trips, coach, or is he gonna?
Okay, we'll, let me get to that. We have several different ways to do that.
So what if you post that?
This guy?
Yeah, the Mike's gotta have to try to get underneath him on the trail.
Yeah, he starts post, we teach them pattern recognition. Read the route and you run it. That's what we tell them. Read the route and you run it and try to get under it. Now, the safety, he's backpedaling and he reads post. He's gonna try to get under that, you know.
So once you recognize the route, run a post. You see the post, start running a post?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, run it. I mean, we pattern recognize, recognition. We'll never run to a spot. When our eyes go to a receiver, and we see that guy plant and start coming inside, and he's running, then we're gonna run that route. We wanna run that route and get under it,
So what if 1 and 2 go deep and 3 wheels?
all right? Let's say they run us off. Yeah, all right, say he runs off, 2 runs us off, and here goes 3 out and up. Then our will, he's gonna turn and run with it. And he's not, we're
So
gonna,
essentially-
So he releases 2 and goes with 3.
Yeah.
He'll level off. And
if he hears 3 out, 3 out,
Okay, so it depends on, the Mike's gotta call me,
right.
call.
When Mike sees 3 out, then he's telling that outside backer, hey, I'm gonna take yours, you go get that one. And he inherits that one. Now, that might be a problem. That could be a deal. If that's the case, then we're gonna play what we call dollar, which is true quarter, probably half on the backside. And that corner's gonna click and bail, and he's gonna be back here in this corner. There's gotta have something that may answer those things, but every,
So communication is the
essentially-
main thing.
huh?
If we don't communicate in the backside, we're screwed.
Oh, yeah, that's why, boy, from day one, those guys, we start out with our little DB drills, and if they're not all all of them, whether 4 out here and all these guys lined up behind me, if they're not all screaming, well, we're down, we're doing whatever, and they know that they better be talking. And these guys find out real fast that, number one, if they're not talking and communicating, they're gonna be little Johnny standing over there with Coach, they're not gonna be out there. But they find out that, hey, by golly, that makes us a lot better, that helps that guy, go back to that team deal, man, I gotta do everything to help that guy so he can be successful, and I'm gonna do my part. So now we have 4 on 3, and that's the idea again. We wanna outnumber people when we run our coverage.
Coach, your wheel walling too.
Yeah,
One thing we've had problems with over the years doing this is our wheel missing.
Right.
Or our wheel, the guy just being better athlete.
something
running
that
right
we
around.
do, and most of them have this problem. There's number 2, and I turn, I'm walling. If they wanna get even with him, you're lost. I wanna get behind him. I wanna get behind him and let him, and if I'm starting to work to him, and I'm gonna start working to him, and if he wants to come across, you're talking about coming across? Yeah, and they're gonna probably come pretty quick. We wanna stay behind it. Now, I see him coming across, I wanna give him one go. It's like playing man-to-man. You never wanna line up head up on guys, cause you give them a 2-way go. Well, the same thing with this. I wanna give him one way, and I wanna be in a position to, I know he's probably gonna try to get around me this way, so I'm gonna work hard to try to get to him. And I will say this. If, talking about that, and this is pretty important in our cover 2 scheme, let's say let's say, the back is over here, and he came across this way, they faked to him, and he may come out or not. When the ball is snapped, all these guys are looking inside, they're keying tackle through the backfield, and they're gonna really keep an eye on that back. If that back goes away from him,